Hey, what's good everybody? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to get started on the SH Figuarts Thor, the Avengers Assemble Edition. Now, I have some gripes with this figure, but overall I think it came out pretty well for what we're getting. I'm glad we're finally not doing the platinum blonde, glowing blonde hair, and just normal blonde hair, having it matted out. But I know some people do enjoy that. It wasn't my preference though. But it's crazy because I really like how this figure looks. I'm just not happy with certain parts about it. Preferably the single jointed knees. I want to be able to get Thor in some really cool poses, and it just doesn't work for me with that. But otherwise, I think it came out pretty solid. So let's jump into it. Let's talk about it. Now, we have our really nice wired cape, which I can't front. We're getting to the point where wired capes are becoming like the must-have. And I know some people like their plastic capes, but it gets in the way of posing for me. So if we have an option, I'm going to take both. But I would almost always prefer the cloth cape. It's really nice. It's wired on the left and right hand side and wired at the end. So that means you can really get your thunder rage on. You can see here. It's really nicely done. It's not detachable. It's on there. If you take it off, it's probably going to be stuck off forever. But as far as our look on Thor, I know some people did not like the head sculpt, but it works for me. I think it looks very Hemsworth worthy. Is it perfect? No. Is it good? Yes. Yes, it is. I think it is. But that's just an opinion. People's facial features are pretty subjective, I think. But in terms of likeness, it's very objective. And I think it does look like him. But that's just my opinion. But without further ado, let's show the moves. I almost messed up and cursed again. But it's weird though, because right here in the neck section, we can't, it seems like we can't turn, but that's not true. That's really just the back of the hair piece kind of getting in the way. But once you kind of force it up and down or heat it up with a joint, with a heat gun or like a blow dryer, you actually can get your movement. So going up and down is not an issue. The only trouble that Thor is truly going to have is looking up. Can't really do it too well, but he can do it. And you won't be able to tilt side to side like with other figures. So you can look left and right, but tilting will not be an option here. Now, as far as our arms go, we can hit a T-joint. Now, what's going to be the problem is you're going to have to like tuck in the arm and then raise up, because the shoulder pads here kind of will block that way. Oh, wow. Wait a second. Hold up. I didn't know they moved. Oh, snap. See, didn't even know that. Wow. So these shoulder pads actually can lift up. So that's crazy. I didn't even know that. So that actually changes the game now. So we can actually move these up, which means therefore your articulation does change too. Because I was going to say, you can't move your arm all the way up. But that's clearly not the case anymore. You can move your arm all the way up. As you can see here, I can shift it up and down. I can rotate down and around. Now for some people, this is going to be where the part where you don't have bicep swivel. Well, it's in there. It's just that this joint is very, very tight. I haven't tried any silicone shock oil yet, and I haven't tried heating it up. But with our butterfly joint here, as you can see, I can start to rotate it. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it or it's actually stuck there. So just keep that in mind. And we are singular jointed here at the forearm, but we do get a swivel here that allows you to rotate that. And you have your standard SHF peg articulation, which doesn't hinder in any ways, even with our forearm gauntlets. So that's pretty cool. As far as our upper torso goes, we are pretty stiff up there. We can go backwards, and we can barely move forward. So Thor is going to be one of those not moving in the upper torso section like at all. Our leg has the drop down method, which you can see here. We get to lift our leg up, and then we have that single joint there, which kind of really bothers me. I was really hoping a double joint to help it flow a little better would be done. But can't win them all. I'm a little disappointed by that. I won't lie, like I am. But I see the other ridiculous moves made to make him look visually stunning. So this is probably more of a visual piece for people as opposed to a articulation piece. But oh yeah, by the way, thigh swivel does rotate outward and inward. But yeah, it's weird because I wanted him to be able to do more. But then I look back at a couple of the other figures, and I want to compare them and see movement wise just how different they are. Because as you can see here, he doesn't look like he's gonna do much here. I just like even sitting down is just not gonna look natural in some ways. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. Sitting down will look a little bit more natural. Oh, as far as our ankle pivot goes, we can go forwards and backwards ever so slightly. We have a toe pivot, and we can tuck in, but not outwards. So getting Thor into certain moves is going to be one of those tricky things for me. Because if we're copying the time of Avengers Assemble, this makes sense. But I just wanted it to be not one of those, we're still living in the past because we're visually giving you the past sort of thing. So I'm very conflicted about this figure. Because it looks very good, but it doesn't function the way that I would very much have liked it to. You know what I mean? So it's very tricky in that manner for me. But let's jump into the accessories. Alright guys, accessories time. We don't get a lot, but we get the important stuff. We do get an alternative head sculpt. And it's weird because I think it's the same face. Oh man, did I like mess up and get like the same thing twice? Was I supposed to get like an alternative face and I got the same thing twice? That would be a bummer if I did, because that's exactly what it's starting to look like. Oh, well, didn't notice it until now. But yeah, that's what I got, y'all. No, I'm wrong. It's the eyes looking off to the side, which I barely noticed. Wow. So in 2021, we're still including the looking off to the side face. Not really a fan of that. So, next up, we will get open palm hands. So we can stop Shitaru with it. Or Shitari, sorry, Shitari. You have your more opposing action hands. You will get Meow Meow holding hand. And I called it Meow Meow on purpose. So you will get your Meow Meow holding hand. And here's Meow Meow. As you can see, you can detach Meow Meow here. You will get a Meow Meow alternate part where you have like the hammer striking piece. Let's zoom out so you guys can see that. So when you put the handle on this one, swap it back on this one, boom. You have a nice strike down piece. So even if you were getting this Thor for one effect part, which I don't think is worth it, but if you were getting this for this one effect part, this part is really nice. Because you also get this. You will get an alternative effect part for the swinging hammer. This is actually pretty cool. You get a small joint here that is going to tie into a particular hand because you're going to swing it by the handle. And as you can see, this will be the handle hand. Oop. Come on, focus. There we go. So this is going to be a hammer swinging hand. You're going to be able just to plug it in. And if it doesn't fit in at first, I do recommend you heat it up. It's a little tricky at first. But yeah. Thank God. Nope, not soft plastic. But I wish it was. I wish this was soft plastic. Because I hate that rough, tough plastic. When you get that sometimes, you run the risk of so much breakage. Now, I do want to test its weight because it's pretty heavy. I don't think I've tested it out yet. So we're going to test it on camera. So let's pop this hand joint in. I should have actually put the hand on first and then popped it in because I always run the risk of breaking something. Every time. See? I'll be messing up, y'all. I really do. And I want to see if it can hold its own weight from hammer to figure. So yeah, it looks like we can hold our weight. That's pretty cool. When it's tucked in properly, we can hold our weight. These are kind of things I think that are really important because you can't have this heavy piece and it doesn't hold. So the tolerance for it does kind of match up. There we go. So yeah, we have our nice swinging piece looking good. I like where that looks. I do. So if this was going to be one of my more static pieces, I would be happy with it because it would look very good. But since I'm a guy who likes to pose my action figures, I find it difficult for me to like truly like enjoy all of it. even if it is a good piece. So I'm conflicted. I won't lie. I'm very conflicted. But I'm going to see what I can make happen with this. And hopefully, you know, I change my mind in the end. Because right now, I'm right down the middle. So let's jump into the size comparisons. See you guys in a second. Alright, now it's time for the size comparison. And this is where it gets to be long. Because what's crazy is I was like in my head, like, man, we haven't had a lot of Thor figures. And then I think back, I was like, man, I'm wrong. We have gotten a lot of Thor figures, mostly from SHF. We got one from Figma, and obviously we have a ton of Marvel Legends ones. But I don't have all of those. But yeah, so let's do this. First things first, need to do the Figma Thor. Now this came out ages ago, so I don't think it's fair that these two can remotely compare. But what's crazy is it doesn't look half bad next to the SHF. Obviously that mix session is really tiny, and the head sculpt is like but like articulation wise, you do get the movement that you would want out of it, which is crazy comparing then and now, and just engineering. So who knows, maybe with some part swapping you can get the Thor you want to move. But yeah, let's move this guy away, right? And now we're going to compare the Mafex Infinity War Thor, which isn't fair because this is a different Thor, but I just want to show you guys another Thor. You know, because we've gotten a lot of Thors at this point. And I like that they're all kind of in the same height range. They're all not too big, not too small. So let's move this out. And now we're going to compare a bunch of the SHF Thors. This is where it gets really cool because I think we've now gotten a Thor from every movie with the exception of Thor Dark World. I think we've literally done everyone at this point except for Thor Dark World. So we've gotten Ragnarok, we've gotten Avengers now, we've got Infinity War. Yeah, I think we've gotten everything but the first Thor, and now Thor Dark World. So yeah. So here's Age of Ultron Thor, which was our first Thor that we actually got. And while at then it was okay, again, he lacked certain movement in the ab crunch area. But we had a lot of movement here in the arms and the legs, which is stuff that I really like, right? Next up is Thor Ragnarok. And I think this one gave me a nice run for what I wanted in a Thor figure. But just, it was way more stylized. You know, it wasn't your traditional Thor. So here we have that. Then we have our Infinity War Thor. Short hair, don't care, right? And then we have Depression Thor. Well, I'm going to call this Redemption Thor now, because my man went through a lot. So he is now Redemption Thor. And even he has double joints that move, as you can see, while the other one does not. But, again, every design does something different. So I'm hoping I can change my own mind, or at least feel better about it, which I don't think I will be, but I'm going to try. And as you can see here, we have our Thor. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Yeah, that's not crazy, but it's crazy at the same time. We have now 5 Thors from SHF, which is pretty cool when you look at it. And he's going through a ton of different looks. So that's what's up. Now we're going to compare to Cap and Iron Man. So let's remove all of these guys. So here is the Mark 7 Avengers Assemble Edition. I haven't had a chance to open up my Mark 6 yet, so I chose the Mark 7 for right now. And I know I said Captain America, but here's Nick Fury first, because I actually have to find Captain America. I actually don't know what I did with him. Yeah, I don't know what I did with him. He's somewhere around. Oh, here he is, finally. And then we have the Avengers Assemble Cap, finally. He made it to the party. So yeah. These boys look good. It's not crazy off, but I like the way it looks so far. I think the smallest one is going to be Nick Fury right now. So yeah. Now we're going to compare to some other stuff that we have. Oh, before we go. Here is a Hulk. This is not the new one. This is the Infinity War Hulk. But I like the size of these two together. The two pulverizers. So I'm okay with this. Right? What's really cool though is we move Hulk to the side. If you want to do some fantasy stuff, which I love doing, here is Thor next to an orc. And I love these two in the combination of the fantasy realm. Because even if they're bigger, it doesn't matter. Thor is a god. So you get to really have fun like pulverizing your enemies and doing bigger stuff. Next up, here's an SHF Kamen Rider Kuga, who's obviously on the smaller side, but that's okay. Then we have an Articulated Icons Ninja, in case Thor ever wanted to fight cosmic ninjas. We have a Cobra Infantryman from Hasbro. And they actually scale out really well with domestics. Obviously, he's not bigger, but he's also not smaller, which can work out well for just about anybody. Here's an Hasbro 6-inch Black Panther. Right? Thor's looking pretty good in terms of size. Then we have a Hasbro Lightning Collection White Ranger. Before we go, I do want to do a quick bonus round. Right? So I'm going to remove all of these. And then I'm going to throw in a NECA Predator, because I've been having a good time like with these guys. And I always like doing like the crazy battle stuff, and it just looks good. So here we are with a NECA Predator. Right? And had to get up on my seat to grab him. My main man, Beta Ray Bill. Now, Beta Ray being bigger makes it a little tougher, but if you read a lot of comics, Beta Ray Bill is a big dude. So I don't mind the Corbinite being gigantic and being worthy of fighting alongside and against Thor. So I'm okay with this. These two will have an awesome team up in my opinion. So yeah. Now, final thoughts. It's rough because I really like the way this Thor looks. But function-wise, because I haven't taken pictures yet, I can't really judge it just yet. But from what I've played with so far is, I like the way the arms move. The torso is stiff. And the legs being single jointed are going to limit the way I can do certain poses. But I'm pretty sure I can make something work. But that's just me. Now, for you guys to decide, I know it'll be a little bit tougher. So hopefully you guys will enjoy the photos at the end. That will help you in your decisions in making and buying things. So as always, please, be good, do good. Drink your water, guys. Later.